अरविंद सर, दो टेस्ट है, दो, तीन नहीं। वनडे ज्यादा है, दो T20, तीन 20। 2.5 minutes from on air, guys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Rupert, and we are now exactly 2.5 minutes to on air. 2.5 minutes to on air.
2 minutes to roll green.
2.5 minutes.
वो हाँ बता दिया उसने, रॉयल वैन अर्ट नियर साइड पे और जर्मन मॉन्टे दी ओका फार साइड पे।
Two minutes to on air. 2 minutes. Okay, there is now 1 minute to on air. 1 minute.
So Rupert, what's your prediction for the game? Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Clock in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One. Roll green.
So on air in 30 seconds.
All right. Have fun.
8, I'll take graphics on you.
Hello and welcome along to New Delhi. It's quarter-final 1, day 4 of the Hero Hockey World League final. And the first game up of the day is England versus Belgium. Both sides are set and making their way out onto the pitch now. It's England away to our right-hand side. In the all-red kit, led by Barry Middleton. John Doman leading out Belgium in the all-black. So an absolute thriller to look forward to between England, who are ranked 4th in the world, Belgium 5th. England, of course, finishing top of their pool. Belgium finishing at the very bottom of Pool B. But everything to play for now. It's crunch time. The important part of the tournament, the business end. Both sides will have a few nerves out there today with so much riding on it. One presentation to be made. Just missed out on it the other day, actually. It's 101 caps now for Elliot van Strijdonk. Forgot to squeeze him in the other day. Mark Lammers trots back to the bench and we'll have the national anthems of both sides Then all the action from this first quarter-final, England versus Belgium.
Tu vivras toujours fier et belle, plus grand dans ta tranquillité, garçon pour devenir immortel, le roi, la loi, la liberté, garçon pour devenir immortel, le roi, la loi, la liberté, le roi,
There we go then, formalities done. Let's crack on with things here at the major Dhyan Chand Stadium in New Delhi, India. It's the first quarter-final of the day, the 13th game of 24 in this tournament. The world's top 8 sides progress through to the finals, Hero Hockey World League final. And we're going to focus on this one first up. Belgium running back to their half in the all-black kit against England in red. So let's have a look at both sides and how they line up. Pinner holds onto his place in goal with Weir, Jackson, Mantell, or Dixon, Middleton the captain, Carson, Lewis, Catlin and Fox all in the starting 11. 7 players to draw on 2 from the bench for Bobby Crutchley. There is Bobby Crutchley. He'll be happy with the side's unbeaten run in the tournament so far. The only side to be undefeated in the tournament this week. But it matters for nothing now because it's quarter-final stage and England's quarter-final opponents are Belgium with Vanash in goal, John Doman, the captain, with Dokier, Charlier, Denea, Gugnard, De Sadalier, Lerpart, Bone, Stridonk and Bockard starting for Belgium. Belgium ranked 5th in the world, climbing up those rankings. And Mark Lammers very much at the helm of the Belgian success. A side which has no player under the age, or over the age I should say, of 26. Herman Montes de Ocker is one of our umpires today, from Argentina, and from the Netherlands, Roel van Aert. So both keepers take their place in the goals. And England get us underway with pushback here in game 1 of day 4, the first quarter-final between England and Belgium. England, as we said, finished top of their pool. And in the crossover stage now, they face Belgium. Last time the two sides met was last year in those European semi-finals. That day Belgium had the support of the home crowd well and truly behind them, and they went on to beat England by 3-0. So this one's going to be a toughie, as a chip over the stick there early doors from Carson, just looking for a foot, gets a long corner which Dixon will take. Mantell's ball back to him, goes straight out into touch. So welcome on board, Michael Absalom here in the commentary box. Alongside me is Simon Mason. Simon, you've been here all week. Thoughts ahead of this game, key players to look out for, and your thoughts on both sides so far in this tournament?
Well, Belgium would look for someone like Denea to be busier. He's definitely not played up to his true potential. They do rely on him, and when he bursts through the midfield, carrying the ball, looking for forward passes, it means that players like Thomas Briels can then lead higher and create more goal opportunities, and that hasn't happened consistently so far this tournament. For England, for me, it's a case of the support players to more of the well-known names. So who's supporting Middleton and Jackson? Catlin in midfield, excellent. And there's someone like Michael Hoare supporting Ian Lewis at the back.
Chance here for Belgium. They're getting around the back and along the baseline. There's a good save from Pinner as that ball came in from Charlier. Still on the baseline with Doman. Little chip over the stick there and a foot, I think, was there? No. Lifted into the leg. I think that was too high. Came up into the knee here, but a good save from Pinner initially from Charlier.
Well, the ball had run loose. England, Dan Fox getting low but getting his feet out of the way. That's picked up between Lewis' feet on his stick.
Well, there is Lewis, who has been drafted now by the Hockey India League, which continues after this, or gets going, I should say, after this at the end of January. So he's signed up for Uttar Pradesh. As he plays his club hockey back home in East Grinstead. Hoare at the back then, alongside Lewis, now in possession, looks up, looking for that Route 1 ball, and Belgium just sitting back here. Now they put on a bit of a squeeze and regain possession back just inside their own half. Guignard inside to Doman, now spreads it wide to Denayer, one of the key players to look out for today. Just calmly drops that ball back. Great disguise pass as well. Lerpart, who is over on that right-hand side, and get some real power and fizz on his balls forward. Here he is now. Certainly keep an eye out for him coming forward.
Yeah, and he'll also be somebody that Belgium will look to at penalty corners. We know all about Bone playing at the top, and it's the depth of squad, the relative depth of squad these teams have that I think might have a bearing on the end result. How good is somebody like Leupart compared to Bone on corners? And similarly, when Jackson's not on, you've got Carson and Gleghorn for England. Are they as effective? And those are going to be the interesting questions as the game plays out.
And the key battles as well on the pitch. Lewis now drives forward, straight onto the flat stick though of John Doman. Too much weight on that ball, which was floated in behind for Dokier. England will have the restart. This is Weir. Henry Weir now for England. Didn't have too much ahead of him. Catlin gathers it though. Dixon and Carson ahead of him. Crunches that one towards goal. And Mantell picks it up, looking for the corner. Stays on his feet, goes to the ground. Now the shot goes, goal, bang! Wonderful finish. England are ahead here.
But they're going to go straight to video, Mike. Straight to video.
Well, let's have a look. Will this goal stand? Tom Carson got the final touch. Mantell on the baseline.
There's a question about this ball hitting Mantell's chest there. Did it hit his arm? That was off the handle of his stick, but prior to it, is there a touch off his body?
Doesn't look like it from that angle, does it? Look to be all stick, but we'll have some closer look at that now. So confirmation there. We're looking for an English body in the slow motion replay. So Gary Simmons, the video umpire today from South Africa, will have a look at that. Roel van Aert asking the question.
This ball bobbles up. Does that touch body? I unfortunately think that might be Mantell's upper arm before he delivers the pass.
Yeah, from that angle it looks like it. From the other angle it didn't. And it's going to be a combination of views now that the video umpire will be looking at.
See, that doesn't show anything because the angle's wrong. Does the ball deviate at all? That's a tough angle to see from. Great finish from Carson, though.
No doubt about that. Carson, who already has 2 goals in the tournament so far. That's certainly not going to help that one.
Rule, I have a decision for you.
Okay.
Rule, the ball has in fact struck the attacker's arm, hence a free hit to the defence. No goal.
Yeah, so touch the body.
Retain their referral.
Yeah, okay, thanks very much.
Okay, referral used by Belgium. The goal doesn't stand. Came up off Mantell's arm before Carson put it in the goal, so it remains 0-0 here in Delhi.
Yeah, the ball was bobbling very nasty for both teams to do anything really clean with. Mantell unlucky because it was only a glancing touch, but rules are the rules and perceived to have gained an advantage from that touch, so the goal doesn't stand.
England again though come forward though. Air of confidence about them now having scored, but it's been disallowed. That one did come up, and was it inside the D?
Well, that's a really interesting question. They haven't gone to video for that, because from here that looks like the ball gets smashed in, touch of a Belgian stick, that hits a body in the circle.
Why have they not gone to video referral there?
Well, there were at least 3 players, Mantell and Carson being 2 of them, who appealed.
Will this be costly? Interception from Jackson, important tackle. He had to step there, doing the cover work well, and Catlin comes away with it. Now for England down the right-hand flank, ball forward to Mantell.
No,
5 minutes gone then, England 0, Belgium 0. England having a goal disallowed. A drive forward from Weir. Umpire didn't like the first tackle. The second tackle certainly caught a deflection from the defender onto the foot of Weir. Doman now gathers the ball again for Belgium. There's Lerpart. And Stridon, that ball's drifted out into touch. Catlin with a quick restart.
Beautiful turning from Catlin. The there in front of him didn't know which way to go, created some space and allowed the ball down to Carson.
Carson tried to clip it in, but it was blocked by the Belgian defence, and they come away with it and have the ball on the 25. So England could easily have been ahead. Just to clear up why this was not given, came up onto the body there of Simon Mantell before it came back to Carson, who slotted the finish there on the volley. Crossfield ball comes in, lovely touch from Middleton between the legs to take it away from the stick of Van Obel, who was lurking on the back post.
And that's exactly the sort of defensive running from the midfield that both teams are going to need to see if they're going to be successful today. Middleton's tracked back a good 20-25 metres with his player to then turn the ball between his feet away, so there's no attacking chance.
Here's another look up the other end. Great defending work there from Barry Middleton. A touch on it, taking it away from Van Obel. Van Obel, who scored, remember, in the European semi-final between these two sides. All about winning those personal battles, those individual battles today for England, and working together collectively as a team. There's Van Stridonk now in possession. 100 caps for him today for Belgium. Actually 101, but his presentation was slightly late. A couple of days or so. Look there too at the England bench. Messages being relayed by Bobby Crutchley, the head coach there. Guys really up for this. They had a relaxed day off yesterday, the England team. Belgium, on the other hand, were out here on this very pitch, training harder than ever to try and get a result. Just behind England in the world rankings, but looking to finish above their world ranking in this tournament.
And as that passage of play went past, just going through the shot, we saw Catlin running off to the bench. He'd been hit on the shin guard with a fairly hard ball through midfield. He is one of those key players. He's been really creative in this first 8 or 9 minutes, and England will want to make sure they get him back into play as soon as possible.
Catlin, 24 years of age and over 100 caps now for England, and plays his club hockey back at Reading. Keep one eye on that. Hopefully he'll be back on in no time at all. There he is, getting some ice just above that shin pad. Good step from Fox. Just dumps it off to Ashley Jackson. Back forward to Fox, and also Cleghorn there picks it up. Stays strong but has it snatched away from him from Dumont. A lot of interceptions, isn't there, at the moment? A lot of turnover play.
Yeah, there is. I think it's because both teams are going for this pretty hard. They're both being aggressive in their decision-making. As soon as they win possession, they are accelerating. There's not a lot of patient build-up through midfield at this moment in time, which I think is pretty much what we would expect from two teams who are playing pretty well throughout the course of this tournament.
His ball was angled towards Martin. Bowman and Charlier coming back on for Belgium. Bobble ball over deflected by Charlier. On the back from De Mont. Little bobble there. Van Strijdonk gets to it first, ahead of Brogdon.
Brogdon doing really well with his closing down running. The line of run that he made cut off the right-hand side of the pitch for Belgium. So the pressure was to deny Van Strijdonk and make him come back in play to where the support players were for the England front press. Whilst he had to go aggressively, he still knew the lines that he was trying to accelerate on.
Nice pattern from England. Whiteman with the ball down to Middleton, cuts in field. Good change of angle from him, but popped onto the foot there. Good defending in the same breath from Nicolas De Mont. De Mont, one of the least experienced players out there for Belgium. Just 10 caps for him now, playing on this left flank.
Brogdon cut inside really well from the left-hand side, but his second touch, the little dink lift ball over the stick, was too heavy, ran away from him. Belgium have been able to come out to this left-hand side with a reasonable amount of time.
And there's plenty of time left on the clock as well. Only just over 10 minutes gone in this first half. England with the better of the shooting opportunities. Actually put the ball in the back of the goal through Tom Carson, but it was disallowed as it came up off the body of Simon Mantell. So that's where we are at the moment. England 0, Belgium 0. Belgium using their referral to make sure the right decision came about. Both sides with their video referral. You can see the green dot next to both sides in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Under 23.5 minutes left to play in the first half, and Belgium in the attacking quarter, looking to get around the back and set up a shooting opportunity. Is going to be a free hit just outside the D, which will be taken back to the dotted line. From here, the ball must travel 5 metres before it goes into the D, so you can't hit it directly into the D anymore. With numerous changes in the game, you can run it in at 5 metres, which is what Belgium attempted to do there through Guignard. Home with the ball, head to Condon. Nice trap there from David Condon of East Grinstead. Again, another relative youngster in this England side. You were looking at and comparing the match experience, international match experience ahead of this game, Simon.
Yeah, England's stats approximately 1,280 caps across their group, with Belgium being in about 1,840. So across the group, there's a lot more experience. And that's where I think later on in the game it might be key as players tire and you're expecting the less experienced guys to step up and do something. Belgium may just have the upper hand if it's close late on in this match.
A side too that's played all the way up from junior level, 18s, 21s. This group of players know each other really well.
Inside, guys, inside.
It's going to be a free hit here just outside the D, inside the 25. Coleman plays back. Here's Lerpart with that deceptive slap hit forward.
Yeah, that's Carson and Docchio just getting a little bit of a warning from our umpire, Doman Montes de Oca, suggesting there's a bit of contact in the circle prior to that ball being delivered.
Yeah, what you don't necessarily see is the physicality of the players bossing each other around in the D. Nudges going in, shoulders going in, fighting for the area of the pitch. They want to get in front of their player, ideally the England defence here, and vice versa. Belgium looking to get ahead of the English defence and get a tip on it.
Yeah, with free hits from that distance, that's exactly right, Mike. You'd be looking for your defenders to front mark, because if they don't front mark and allow the ball comes into the circle, any kind of touch from Belgium is obviously going to lead to potential easier goals. So the defenders will be looking to get in front to intercept those passes into the dangerous key areas.
Acres of room over on the left-hand flank if Belgium want to use it with Denayer on the halfway line. They might just go back the other way. They have done through De Mont now. Lerpart into the midfield with Van Obel. Bit of pressure here coming from England as they try and snatch the ball back, but Belgium wise to it. There's that route one ball again. It's taken a deflection. Bone was causing all sorts of trouble there and breathing down the neck of young Tim Whiteman. Have a look at that.
That's a huge ball in. I think it's Bone in the first instance. Either it comes off his foot or gets a back stick, because There's definitely a touch of an England foot, but I think it's perceived to be back stick by him.
Strength as well there from Belgium coming forward to carry that tackle and win the free hit on the 25.
And that ball that came into the circle from Bone has to be policed.
Good calm head from Michael Hall.
Well, that's the line you would expect to find Lewis on. Direct line from ball to centre of goal. That's 2 balls from Belgium into the heart of the English circle. They're probably a metre or so off where they need to be because it's a slap pass, not a huge amount of disguise. They need to make sure there is an easy opportunity at the head of their D, England.
You say that, but Larpart's probably the better of the players out there that has got that disguise where he can just open the face of the stick and it could go over sort of a 3-metre spread there. He could be looking one way and he just slips it the other.
Absolutely, Mike. He certainly could with his disguise, but if you think about where the dangerous areas of the circle are, where the ball would be desired to go by the opponent, you have to police that line. If you then fall for the disguise and the disguise ball is going away towards the corner flags, you don't need to defend that as much of a priority as you do that route 1 ball to the head of the circle. So it's not falling for the disguise, holding the shape, making sure the lines are good.
Tap in from Brogdon. It's going to fall for Carson again, but there was a little elbow there that the umpire didn't like. Lewis is going to get to that one just ahead of Thomas Briels, who has 1 goal in the tournament so far. Confident pass out to the right-hand flank with Whiteman. Keeps it simple and just taps it back to Weir. Interception there, though, from Doman, and here's a chance for Belgium. Good tackle from Lewis. He got something behind it. It was a foot, I think, in the end, but held his ground. Belgium confidently coming forward, and there's a chance, and Pin had to get down low to it. And a second save, too, off the left kicker. Came off the pad, about halfway up the shin, and goes off for a sideline ball. Jackson now. Hearty defending from England, and now they release through Carson. Under the arm with Dixon. Now Brogdon.
Well, that was superb goalkeeping from Pinner. There we see him in the goal, but now 2 great saves. One diving low down to his right-hand side from a touch just in front of him. Would have gone down as an own goal. That's a great right-hand save. And then left leg from a narrow angle. Had to get a touch on that because Briels was behind him.
Good solid start for George Pinner of Beeston. 40 caps now for England. Other goalkeeper for England is Patrick Smith, who came on for England's last game against New Zealand. Canuck goalkeeper in action, so all the squad having featured in this Hero Hockey World League final so far. This is the big one, though, the quarter-final, England versus Belgium. No goals to report as yet. Goal disallowed for England as it came up off Mantell's body to Carson, who scored, but then it was disallowed after we went to video referral. And a good double save just a moment ago from George Pinner to keep the scores level. Outside of that, not too many clear-cut opportunities for either of these sides. The ball into Jackson in space. There's three or four Belgian players around him there.
Well, Belgium from that obviously looking to counter, not just Jackson, but that space, the centre midfield space. It was a high-risk ball from Lewis in the first instance that got to Jackson because it was a disguised under-the-arm pass. Belgium showing that they're quite happy to fill up the middle with their players, make England go to the flanks before they can attack.
Fox just hooking the stick of Briels there, but advantage played. Here's Doman now. Into the head of the team, driving all the way here onto the flat stick of Weir, who comes away with it. He was the last line of defence ahead of George Pinner. Important flat stick tackle from him.
Crucial, absolutely crucial for England that Henry Weir got a stick on that. How Doman was allowed to drive from that centre midfield through 3 tackles England will worry about. We see here, inside, outside, same skill 3 times, and finally it's Weir who gets his lines right for an open stick.
Strong tackle. Lewis and Willers having to work hard at the very back for England, ahead of George Pinner.
And we talked earlier on about Middleton's defensive running through midfield to counter Belgium. That opportunity that Bone just missed shows what happens if it's not tracked. Henry Weir was about 5 yards behind Bone, couldn't catch him up. The first yard or 2 of sprinting from the midfield defensively just has to be done almost without thought, instinctively. If there's a pause, you're never going to catch up.
Guignard with the ball forward for Belgium. Tice on the ball, just snatched away from him by Willers, but again they come forward so quick to react on that free hit. Thomas Briels. There's Guignard. And Stridon. Again, little one touch goes in. Oh, that could have easily gone in as well. A deflected effort there from Adam Dixon, the final touch, but puts it over the bar, and it's a long corner. Easily could have been an own goal. Dixon, who already has 2 goals up the right end in this tournament, almost getting his first own goal.
Well, Dixon needed to touch it because Denayer was behind him. And it just shows that ball into the circle. If it's played off an angle, if played directly in, it's relatively difficult to get it there. But off an angle, when you change the point of attack, much easier to make inroads into some space.
Our first card as well up the other end as England attack inside the D now, looking for their first penalty corner of the game. Belgium down to 10 players. It's Simon Guignard that is sitting out for a couple of minutes.
And he's one of the Belgian players who was part of that under-18 group that you talked about earlier on, Mike. The group that have come through all of the European level tournaments, having won them. He won at under-18 level sort of 5 years ago, roughly. And he was a key part of that and was really showing himself to be an athlete. Stepped up to the 21s and then got drafted into the seniors almost immediately. And he's just grown in stature and experience over the last 4 or 5 years.
A little touch there from Weir, helps it on to Bone, who drives the baseline. Did it stay in? Did it go out? Long corner, says the umpire. More angle up here, looked as though it drifted across the baseline. Demont round the back now. Belgium, who made the European final last year, lost out to Germany in the end, having beaten England in the semi-finals. England going on to finish 4th, losing out the bronze medal match to the Netherlands.
Well, this is not dissimilar at the moment in terms of performance by England as the game when they played against Germany. Didn't have a lot of ball, had to defend incredibly well, and they probably need the same thing. They just need to get the ball on the end of the sticks and play 5, 10, 15 passes, 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Here's another look at that last Belgium attack. Tom Bone picking it up there, drives the baseline, does go off there, I think.
It does indeed. That's a great spot from umpire Montes de Oca, because he was behind the line of the goalkeeper, did well to see over him.
So England, who have won all 3 of their pool games, looking to open their account here. They had a 2-0 win against hosts India. Eventually won that game 2-1 against Germany. And a more convincing win against New Zealand, 5-1. Belgium, 2 losses to start with. They lost 3-2 against Australia in their first game, and then 3-2 against Argentina when they were 2-1 up in their second, before a 2-2 draw was played out against the Netherlands in their last pool game. So they drew England, who finished top of their pool, Belgium, who finished bottom of theirs. The Red Lions come forward today, but in the all-black kit. Captain's ball was intercepted. It was well read by Van Strijdonker. Telegraph pass there, easy for him to pick off.
Yeah, poor choice of pass from Catlin. The defence was set in front of him, and as soon as his eyes went up and he looked in field, the Belgian defence all took a great big 2-metre step forward to intercept.
So coach Mark Lammers there of Belgium. I know he guided the women's side to Olympic gold in Beijing in 2008. Also the silver in Athens in 2004. So he's got a wealth of experience, and he's going to see another one of his players going out to the dugout here. Another 2-minute sin bin for this challenge.
Yeah, Charlier coming through the back of Barry Middleton. Wasn't pretty at all, just over-committing to trying to put some pressure onto Middleton in the midfield.
Keep your hands here, yeah? Thank you.
Cedric Charlier, green card, 2-minute suspension. So 10 minutes left to play in the first half. It's England 0, Belgium 0. Belgium again down to 10 players for the second time in this game. Hard tackle comes in this time from Michael Hort. Catlin there as well.
And it doesn't surprise me down below us that umpire Roel van Aert just having a quiet word with Michael Hall for that challenge that came in. It's the first one of the game, but it was pretty aggressive stick challenge.
Fine line, isn't it? Making sure that challenge is aggressive and you let your opposite number know that you're there and breathing down his neck, and a card. Quick restart from Van Ogen. Wasted chance from Belgium, gives England the opportunity to rebuild again. Catlin couldn't keep it in. Well, he's been given a green card. Was that for hitting the ball away? I think he was actually just trying to help, wasn't he, and put it back on the sideline.
Well, yeah, I think that's a little bit harsh, because there was no signal from anybody. The ball bounced on the goal on the sideline and then hit Nick Catlin's foot. So he was frustrated with it and knocked it away at that point. But the whistle hadn't gone for the free hit. So I think that's a little bit harsh.
Leghorn has it pinched off him then, and it allows Dokier to come forward, but Touche says Dan Fox. What does the Fox say?
Touche.
Jackson then with the ball in midfield, and Belgium have now sunk back to a half-court press. Middleton picks it up. They're doing well to come to the ball and then carried away from the defender that was breathing down his neck.
Oh, Michael Hall there looking forwards from right half. And I just think there needs to be a mix-up in terms of distribution from the England back line, because it's Lewis who's taking on a huge amount of the distribution. Hall getting it, just tackling, doing brilliantly, but then having to give the ball away, and we just see a replay of Catlin there kicking the ball.
Yeah, that's what he got the green card for, kicking the ball away. About another minute to serve on his 2-minute sin bin. Means Belgium are back up to full strength after seeing 2 players go off with green cards. And this is a chance for them to come forward, but England still defending resiliently. Only conceded 2 goals in the tournament so far. They've got the fewest conceded goals in the tournament, so something certainly to pay attention to. Oh dear, stray one from Ashley Jackson. Pinner might want to just keep this one in, plays it into Michael Hall. Now Belgium put a little bit of pressure on the England defence. Good composure to bring it out there from Hall.
I don't understand that either, because Harry Martin, to me, was in the middle of the pitch in space. The 3 Belgians closed down the requisite 5 metres. He was there first, maybe should have got that free hit.
Good double teaming from England, they'll come away with it. Catlin back on the pitch now, supporting on the right-hand side. There he is, picking it up from Gleghorn. Will he get to it in time? No, he won't.
Denayer penalised for taking it a little bit too early. He was aware that Catlin had overrun it, and from the left-hand side would have been able to come forward and just eliminate because of the ball position. Umpire Van Aert bringing him back.
Done well by Dorian Thierry. Now plays that 1-2 pass that Middleton intercepts, and then gets the foot by popping it on to Jeffrey Tice's foot. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half. No goals to report to you, unfortunately. There was one, actually. Tom Carson putting England ahead, but it was disallowed as it came up the arm of Simon Mantell.
Jackson trying to get a small triangle going with Whiteman and Catlin, but unfortunately double touching the pass, so instead of going out to the flank, he just hooked it infield.
Denayer forward then to Briels. Sideline ball for him. Belgium have distributed it well around the back so far in this first half. Here's Lerpart, who strides forward, reverse stick, ball in towards goal, and Pinner wanted to get a touch. I think from the reaction of Felix Denayer there, he got a little touch on it in front of Pinner.
It certainly looks like it. Great run from Lerpart. There is a touch at the top of the circle. It wasn't Denayer on the penalty spot. It was higher than that, but it's a good left foot save from Pinner. And England really need to get men out of their defensive lines, up onto the distribution point that Belgium are exploiting.
Condon now. Who's he got in support? Lovely stick skills to get past one defender, but can't get past Lerpart. Great change of pace now from Doman, the captain. Kirst is in support. All the way out and round through Dumont. Van Stridonk now. Lerpart. Almost in an indoor fashion, just playing it between the two central defenders. Simon Mantell trying to block off that channel to the left-hand side. Forcing it that way.
Yeah, Mantell overrunning that slightly as Loic Lerpart had come out to the left-hand side. Mantell's original defensive running was good, but then as he accelerated to get close to the ball, Lerpart read it, stepped, just checked his pace and rolled out and was able to go back to centre-back.
Well, umpire's seen something here. Looks like it might be Michael Hoare, is it? He's the one trotting off, but England making a few substitutions as well, but it is Michael Hoare, yeah, he's heading off towards the sin bin. Green card shown for him, 2 minutes, but England up the other end now, and a floated one in there. Oh, should have been the opener for Simon Mantell, who wound up, came sliding in, and couldn't get on the end of this ball in from Tom Carson.
Great overhead. Carson takes it down. Sorry, pull across to Carson, and then look at Mantell's running. Look at the effort. He took it down, but misses the near post. Carson floats it, and it's about 2 or 3% too strong for Mantell.
Great initial bring down from Mantell to then play the 1-2 with Carson, but didn't have the finish. England again missing a chance to go ahead. Down to 10 players. Green card for Michael Hoare.
Jackson and Charlier sharing turnover down on that sideline.
Oh yeah, the England defender there, Whiteman, was retreating 5 and Belgium just questioning that, but it certainly looked as though he gave the 5 yards beforehand. A good stop from him. Now England have it on the halfway line with Martin, who just lays it off to Jackson, goes aerial ball, but that's cut out by Bone, taken for a sideline ball, which Willers will take. Lewis now, Whiteman on the right-hand side. Upfield and looking for Martin, but a comfortable pick in the end for Guignard. Comes in field, and here's a chance for Belgium to go ahead. Whiteman again with the cover tackle, as Charlier was just looking to get his feet around it and get the shot off.
Oh, Whiteman doing brilliantly to get all the way across the 25. England need to step out. The midfield and the defensive lines are getting separated. They need to step out defensively and to keep possession.
Here's Bone on the spin, tries to go near post. It's going to be a penalty corner. No complaints coming from the England camp. No video referral.
A ball played into Bone. He knows exactly where the opposite defender is. I think he's going to shoot there, and it comes off Willer's heel. It's played him really well over the flat stick. And this is an individual trying to spin it towards goal, and he's a little fortunate to get the corner, but does so.
Yeah, just that back heel of Oliver Willers being clipped. So we have our first penalty corner of this first quarter-final of day 4. It goes Belgium's way. And, well, It's a pretty threatening head of the D with Denea at the head of it. Larpart and Tom Bone, the danger man, who scored in every single game so far. Here he comes again, lays it off this time for Larpart, and cleared off the line by England.
That's a brilliant save on the line. Middleton, I think it is, who's picked that from a spin. It goes to Bone. This is a dummy strike, spins around his feet from close. Leupart, and somehow Middleton on the line managed to get a stick on it.
It came up off Middleton then, and will be penalty corner number 2 of the day. Last play of the first half. Belgium looking to go ahead. Missed trap this time. Van Strijdonk plays the ball to John Doman. England just need to clear their lines here. A few seconds to hang on till half-time. There is the hooter for half-time then. No goals in the first half. England 0, Belgium 0. So England came close. A disallowed goal as Mantell and Carson linked up. Came up off Mantell's arm though before Carson slotted it home. Belgium using their video referral to ensure the scores stayed level. Some good saves from George Pinner in the England goal to deny a couple of deflection opportunities for Belgium in that first half. 2 penalty corners at the end as well there that England had to defend. A good save off the line from Middleton. And both sides will go in level at half-time. Quarter-final 1 then looks like this. At half-time, it's England 0, Belgium 0. Come back for all the second half action shortly.
Yeah, good. Stand by Beauty in 3, 2,
just under
1,
4 minutes on the break.
And Beauty. Here, cameras, just see if you can give me some beauty shot, because our beauty shot is really more of a foggy shot. 5, that's one option. नहीं 3 कुछ और दे यार. एक बंदा स्टेडियम प्रोफाइल कर रहे होंगे तो सही शॉट है. Camera 8, Sajal sir. Tell him once he come back if he can offer me some shot for graphics. नहीं 3 पूरा wide out. Till down. Yeah, no, I'll change the shot. हाँ बस 3. Racks on 3 थोड़ा सा देखें. अंदर वाला ज़्यादा ही डार्क हो गया.
So,
पानी पड़ रहा है 3. क्या?
Okay, guys, we've got so we'll do the lower third score caption, followed by the highlights, followed by the stats. Okay.
Okay.
Then hopefully we'll go to interview.
Okay.
If you want it, we've got both teams' route to the quarter-final, which
Okay,
is their results in the games in all their pool matches.
Okay.
If we want to put those up, we can call them up after the interview, if you like.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Anyone listening? Anyone?
Yeah,
care?
yeah. Can you hear me, Rupert? Okay.
1:30 left on the break.
Stand by camera 6 then for graphics. बस हिलाना मत जब मैं
1 minute left on the break.
8 you
1
can hold
minute.
your shot. 8 पहला graphics 8 पे डालेंगे. Okay, cool, no problem. Stand नहीं 6 मुझे लाइट नहीं चाहिए. हाँ बस. Lower third. 0-0. 8 focus में आओ. हाँ ऐसे ही रहना बस.
30 seconds on the break. Right, 10 seconds left on the break.
10 seconds. Stand by blue. Stand by camera 8 for graphics. Stand by.
So we'll go to the bumper in 4, 3, 2, 1,
Roll
and
blue.
run it.
Welcome back then to quarter-final 1. It's England versus Belgium. No goals in the first half. It's half-time of the Hero Hockey World League final. We can look back on some of the highlights. England thought they'd pinched it here, the opening goal. Mantell laying it off to Carson from real-time speed. It looked fine, but we went to video referral. It actually came up off Mantell's body before laying that ball back to Carson, so the scores stayed level. That took a little deflection just in front of Pinner from Whiteman. The second save was a good one as well to take it to safety off Tice's shot. First time ball in caused some trouble as well, and Dixon this time almost putting that one in past Pinner, but puts it over the bar instead. And this, a real chance for England to have taken the lead. The 1-2 from Mantell, the shot going wide, and that was England's best chance of the first half. There's a look then at the stats from that first half. Belgium, we've had more shots with those deflection efforts going goal bound. England's 2 shots, while they couldn't find the target. Circle penetrations, Belgium dominating that with those deflected efforts and those deceptive balls going in and around the D. 11 circle penetrations to 3. They've controlled the possession as well and got 2 penalty corners late on in that first half, but couldn't convert from either of those opportunities. Barry Middleton clearing one of those off the line. So here's a little look at how both sides got to where they are today here in the quarter-final. England winning their first game against hosts India by 2-0. They then went on to beat the Olympic champions Germany by 2-1, and their last pool game a convincing win against New Zealand 5-1 to set up this quarter-final battle by finishing top of Pool A. Belgium then not the best, the reverse effort to England really in terms of form, losing out 3-2 to Australia in their first game. They lost by the same result, or the same scoreline, against Argentina before earning a 2-2 draw against the Netherlands. So they finished bottom of Pool B. So top of Pool A, England against bottom of Pool B, Belgium. The second half on the way very shortly. Belgium are already out onto the pitch for this second half, and we've got about 2.5 minutes before we officially get going. So that should give us time to get down pitch side, where Debayan Sen is waiting alongside him, the Belgian coach Mark Lammers.
Mark, quite a fascinating first half. You had your chances, you could easily have been 1-up.
Yeah, we played quite good, and we had some chances. But still, it's an equal game. England is a really strong team, and we tried to get more space on the outside to go in the circle. And we have to do it better. If we steal the ball, then we have to counter-attack has to be better.
One of the observations that we had watching from above was that you're using the long ball to good effect, looking for those deflections. Can we expect a few of those in this second half as well? Yeah,
because England is defending really close to you, so it's difficult to pass the short passes. Sometimes we need the long pass to the attackers. They have to receive it, and then the midfield has to come over it, and we try to do it second half again.
Well played in the first half, and all the best for the second.
Thank you very much.
So there is Mark Lammers' side as they set up for this second half. Crunch game, this one. Remember, if it's a draw, we go to a penalty shootout. Side selecting 5 players to take the penalty from the 25. They'll have 8 seconds to try and score past the goalkeeper. There's Vanash in goal for Belgium. For England, it's Pinner. And let's have a little word with the England camp as well. Back to you, Dubai.
Bobby, an interesting first half. You almost had a goal. What are your thoughts on what you need to do in the second half?
Yeah, it's very tight, isn't it? I mean, I think we've got to keep concentrating with our, in terms of actually our tactical game and actually making sure we negate the threats of Belgium, but also we've got to be a bit braver on the ball and actually punish them a bit more. Obviously, we had a good couple of chances, but I don't think we've had enough, and we've got to play a little bit better, particularly in our attacking game, while still retaining our concentration in defence.
Well, all the best, and who knows, maybe we'll get to see the first shootout in the very first knockout game.
Well, we'll wait and see. Thank you.
Well, the best of those chances falling to Simon Mantell in the first half. Middleton cleared one off the line to ensure England went in at half-time 0-0. At the score then as we pick things up ahead of this second half. Charlier then with the restart to Doman, and Belgium starting the second half with an aerial ball which goes right down the throat of Denayer, and they've got their first penalty corner. Barry Middleton running towards the back of the goal to get his face mask on. No complaints coming from the England defenders. An early penalty corner conceded. Here's how it came about.
Yeah, it's a slow start from Dan Fox. He doesn't realise what's going on. He's too far away from Denayer, and then he encroaches, which is what gives away the penalty corner. Denayer was in space. Fox comes inside that 5 metres, and therefore England are penalised for it. No question about the penalty corner decision.
Penalty corner number 3 of the morning, or afternoon as we are here. Depends where you're watching it. Back home in England, early morning. Just gone 2 here in the afternoon in New Delhi. Corner comes in, Bone gets on the end of it, and a great tip around the post from George Pinner to keep the scores level.
Pinner has been on absolute fire so far, made some difficult saves and some simple ones, but that's a class, world-class save down to his right-hand side from a Bone flick.
Belgium aren't done yet, scrapping for every bit of possession as Doman picks it up again and wins the free hit. Outside of him is Dokier. Middleton under it this time. Catlin now. Trying to play that 1-2 in with Dixon. 2 goals in the tournament for Adam Dixon. Stays out here to play for Mumbai Magicians in the Hockey India League after the conclusion of this tournament. The first ever Hockey World League. Belgium looking to make their way through to the semi-finals. They have to score here against England if they're going to progress. Brogdon, reverse stick away. Some scrappy defending from England. There's a player down as well.
You'll see the drive into the circle. I think it's Charlier who gets hit, and that's head-to-head in the end, so he'll stay down for a little bit. It's a big collision with Lewis. Lewis in the end scrambling that ball clear.
George Pinner with a great save moments before that. But Belgium have really come out here in this second half. They've upped the pace, upping the pressure on the England defence, who have only conceded 2 goals in this tournament so far, the fewest of any of the 8 teams here. Here's another look at that collision between Charlier and Lewis, head-to-head there. Certainly Lewis coming off the better of the 2 players. It's actually a shoulder, isn't it? He's gone right onto that.
Yeah, Lewis saw it coming and set himself. Charlier, on the other hand, was just looking to release the ball, and therefore head was down and twisted at an angle. Lucky to walk away from that so easily.
Just taking his breath and taking his place on the subs bench for a couple of minutes or so. I'm sure he'll be back on later. He's on his feet, and no medical attention required on the pitch. Team doctor just having an official look at him now. Fingers crossed he'll be all right. Very misty conditions here today in Delhi. Foggy, schmoggy. Hard to tell which, isn't it, really?
It is hard to tell which, but it certainly doesn't seem to be affecting the individual's performance. The pace of this game so far is exceptional.
Good step from Fox this time, who conceded the corner moments ago, but confidence building touch from him there. Dixon now gets into the heart of the action as well. Oh dear, England have lost it here then in a dangerous part of the territory, and Unfortunately, that ball just bobbled away from Denea.
Well, unfortunately, Denea didn't have anybody outside and the ball had switched out. England had come out with it down the left side. Dixon, a loose pass on the backhand. And all of a sudden, Belgium were back in. Denea down the centre midfield channel. Had nobody outside him. And given that Mark Lammers at half-time talked about exploiting the outsides, that surprises me slightly.
Touch from Hoare takes it for a long corner.
No.
The umpire being very specific there, wants Hoare to retreat 5 metres, going with the restart eventually. Oh dear, not the best from him, normally so accurate from all over the pitch, and was looking to clatter that one back to his teammate Larpart. Gives England some territory.
Well, you've got to enjoy umpire Rob Van Aert's comment. Make sure it's 5, not 4.5. I wonder how, as a player playing at this pace in an international game, you can possibly tell the difference without a tape measure.
Well, he certainly couldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his tape measure out. Nice sequence of 1-2s there from England. Brogdon pits up the ball. Andy Brogdon, who played some hockey in Belgium at the Waterloo Ducks. Belgium just give possession back to England on their halfway. Here's Ashley Jackson. Haven't seen too much of him in this second half. Middleton, who was active at the end of the first half, clearing one off the line from a Belgian penalty corner. Fox to the left of him now, with Dixon ahead of him. Catlin inside, and Fox will come all the way back through Hoare. Lewis to his right.
I think if England are going to get any success in this second half, they need to carry the ball higher up the pitch and spend a longer time with it. Every time they got it in the first half, they tried to score a goal pretty much every time from 30 yards, and it was only 1 or 2 players at a time. They need to manufacture situations where they've got 4, 5 and 6 players in that attacking zone.
Briels can't get the better of Middleton, and Catlin comes away with it. Played hockey in Belgium for a year or so as well. Teammates with Tom Bone back there at Royal Racing Club in Brussels. And over there on the far-hand side of the pitch now. Jackson back. All the way through the England defence now. They've got space here, and that's because Belgium are sitting back.
Yeah, you see there's an engagement on Lewis from Briels, and that's what England aren't doing to Belgium in the other situation.
There was a chance. Diving forward was Mark Gleghorn. Full stretch. How close was this one? He couldn't have tried any harder to get something on it.
Henry Weir picks it up and slaps it in. I think it's about half a metre off the floor and bounces, but he's actually quite a way away in the end.
No doubt about the commitment there from Mark Gleghorn, who already has 1 goal in the tournament. You were saying ahead of this game, Simon, how important it was for England to score first in this game. You think they stood a better chance of winning it if they score first?
I do. I think they played well at times, but I think that the 2-0 against India and the 2-1 against Germany was done through making the most of few chances and then defending superbly. Yes, against New Zealand they created some goals, but I feel that Belgium are a different class outfit to New Zealand. So if they were to go a goal down, I'm not sure that they're playing well enough in attack to score 2 to win the game, and that shows from the goal stats in the first half. We saw in the highlights 2 shooting chances, but actually they were the only shooting England chances. So they're going to need to make more in the circle if they're going to really have a good, solid chance of winning this game.
Yeah, Simon Mantell missing one of those chances, and he was involved in the second effort as well for England when Tom Carson scored the goal, but it came up off Mantell's body just before that. So the goal was disallowed after Belgium used their video referral. There is Simon Mantell coming back onto the pitch now. Dumont as well for Belgium also takes his position in the midfield. Charlier back on as well there, the Belgium number 10, who took one in the head from Lewis earlier in this second half. Carson and Condon as well waiting in the wings for England. No penalty corners in the game so far for England. Certainly something they'll be looking to try and achieve in this second half. Ashley Jackson with 3 goals in the tournament so far, but hasn't been given any shooting chances yet in this game. Good step forward, good solid defence from Bocard, but good persistence from England to come forward with Jackson. Straight onto that stick of Guignard, who committed the foul. Quick restart from Catlin. Middleton now into Jackson. Again, Belgium defending their lines well with De Mont there getting to it and now in possession.
Well, England will create more space to attack if they actually move the ball laterally before they go forward. It's a little bit route one when they get it at the moment.
See, was that Dan Fox there lying down?
I think it might have been Brogdon who's come off, possibly got a little bit of a tweak. If the hamstrings tighten up, it can go into the lower back, and that really does hamper your running speed.
Mantel, first touch takes it away from the defender, but right back into Guignard, who was tracking back. Good short play this from Belgium. Thierry. Kirsters now with the ball forward, which doesn't threaten Lewis too much. Or taking his place out to the right-hand side of Lewis with the aerial ball, the favoured option, taken out into touch of way above the head of Guignard. Remember, the ball can be played above the head here in this tournament, as far as the rules and regulations go, and anyone interested on how much longer the international game will have to wait for the own goal rule to disappear, well, it's only till the 1st of February, so we're almost there, and no more own goal at this international level.
Yeah, that's right, Mike, and then domestically, federations can choose when they then choose to turn that rule off. And it's been recommended that it's off everywhere by the 1st of September in all leagues.
It'll certainly be a welcome addition back to the game, and England get their first penalty corner. Finally it comes. David Condon earning the corner. Heavy tackle this on Condon, who rode the initial tackle well, forced that rush of blood to the head from Dorian Thierry, and England have their first penalty corner.
It wasn't a long way up Condon's stick, but it was certainly pretty hard.
Right then, what have England got from the head of the D? Remember, we touched upon how important it was for them to score first today against Belgium in this quarter-final. That's their conversion rate in the tournament so far. Very impressive indeed, 6 from 10. Can Ashley Jackson continue that good form? Carson alongside him at the head of the D. Brace yourselves back home. A good scoring opportunity here for England against Belgium in the first quarter-final of the day. And it comes. Jackson at the head of the D, keeps it low into the keeper's pads. Follow-up goes in, does it? No, saved off the line there from Martin Schott. Good save from Vincent Van Asch for Belgium. Martin goes to the ground, another corner given. And we're going to see a card as well, our first yellow of the game. For that challenge on Harry Martin, at least 5 minutes then in the sin bin for this.
Well, Bocard just steps across, apparently hooks his knee. Now, I think that's a little bit harsh on Bocard, but certainly Montoka has decided that it was deliberate.
Well, England given a second bite of the cherry, their second penalty corner of this game. Vincent Van Asch saved that last effort from Ashley Jackson extremely well, and the follow-up from Harry Martin. There is confirmation of Bocard's yellow card. 5 minutes in the sin bin for him. Carson and Jackson at the head of the D.
Well, England have now gone to 2 Castles. Jackson on the last corner was straight off the top.
It's going to be Jackson again, this time not stopped by Mantell, but plays on and tries to get a follow-up penalty corner. He gets that. That's the best he could do after making a hash of the stop at the head of the D.
Well, the question here, I think, will be, was Mantell carrying the ball in a position where he actually manufactured the foul by carrying the ball behind his right foot with his body forwards? So suggesting the push is the other way.
See what the question is.
And the Belgian player is saying that he received a push to receive the ball, and then the England player pushed him. They are asking for a free hit for Desmond. We just confirm that you have given a penalty corner for obstruction, and the Belgian player is saying that he was in fact pushed. Yep.
So Mantell drives right, that carrying position. The Belgian player is saying that Mantell actually pushed him. But I think from this angle, Mantell's allowed to carry the ball there. There's nothing wrong with that, he's just crabbing through space.
think the corner's going to stand here. See, he's still in possession of the ball there. The actual Belgian player is saying he's taken that ball away, though, with his stick. I think there, you can see it from that angle. It looked like he took the ball away, certainly from that last angle. Not necessarily from that first one we saw.
Yeah, this is a difficult call because obviously the video umpire has to be certain enough to overrule the initial decision if it's not to stand as a corner.
There's no reason for you to change your decision. Penalty corner. Belgium will lose their referral. Okay, thank you.
Well, all fairly clear. The penalty corner will stand. Gary Simmons relaying that message through from his video umpire spot through to Herman Montes de Oca of Argentina. And England will have their third penalty corner of the game. Didn't stop it cleanly last time round. Mantell recovered to get the third penalty corner, the first of which was on target and well saved by Vanash.
You know, it was well thought through from Mantell, because quite often when a corner routine goes a little bit wrong, there's a panic, there's a feeling you have to do something immediately, but actually you've got a 7-on-4 attack versus defence, so going into space and getting a real award is relatively simple.
Same setup for England with Jackson, and Carson this time takes the flick and scores for England! England take the lead in the quarter-final. They lead Belgium here by 1-0. A goal there from Tom Carson, his third of the tournament.
It comes out to the top, he shapes to go to the goalkeeper's left and pulls it round his feet, firing it not quite at the post, but past the toe of Vanash's kicker. He's unable to get his big right glove down to the ground, driven into an empty space. Really well delivered, great pace. Look at the whip round his body from Carson.
Super finish from Carson. England with their noses ahead. Long way still to go in this one, though. Still 23 minutes left to play, but Tom Carson putting England ahead from a penalty corner on 47 minutes. Got to keep their foot down on the gas now.
They have. They've got to also keep stepping forward. Belgium be quite happy to carry the ball up to 40 metres away from the England goal without a huge amount of possession. England now need to make sure they keep stepping out defensively, putting pressure on the ball and not giving Belgium time to look up and make easy passes into dangerous areas.
And a possible semi-final against Argentina or New Zealand could be an option if England get that far. Still a long way to go. 22 minutes left to play, and still Belgium down to 10 players.
Is that a coaching course offered to Mark Lammers? Great turn from Bone, lovely first touch.
Certainly was, and England having to track back, in particular Michael Hoare, who was skinned there by Bone, but Lewis helping him out at the back as well. That ball just going out before Lapart smashed it back down towards the England half. Martin with the restop, behind the body of Condon though, made it tough for him to pick it up. Van Strijdonk now, 100 caps for him today. Acres of space out here on this near side for De Sadeleer. Belgium just remaining composed at this phase of the game. They trail by a 1-0 here. Tom Carson putting England ahead if you snuck off to make yourself a cup of tea. Reverse thick ball is blocked. And the free hit one as well for England. Bonus.
It is indeed for them, and I'm not looking happy that it's gone that way. England doing well so far this game to deny Belgium one of their trademarks of attacking patterns, which is 2- and 3-man interchanges as they run through midfield on counter-attack. We haven't seen Belgium counter-attack particularly well yet. They've driven balls into the heart of the circle, but the interchanges that we've seen with Denayer and Briels and Tice as they move forward with real pace hasn't quite happened. England denying those 1-2s.
Yeah, Mark Lammers at half-time as well, saying, wasn't he, as we have a look at some of those stats down there in the bottom left, just how important it was that, well, they couldn't get through with the short passes, that they had to get those long balls in. That was the only way that they could try and break down the England defence as they get a shot off on target there that forced another good save from the England goalkeeper. Jackson comes away with it, but that was Bone with the reverse stick shot, pinnacled into action again.
And a big left leg, left hand block from a ferocious reverse shot. Bone superb at unleashing on the backhand.
Well, it's a little unfortunate. There's going to be another card here. I think Carson going to ground, the goal scorer. And he's been given a yellow card by the umpire. Looked like he went in clean there, but not from the umpire's angle, that's for sure.
Oh, Carson was driving to try and knock the ball, diving to try and knock the ball back to his midfield. And in doing so, I think we may see that he actually plays through the back of his opposite number's stick to get the ball away, and because he has gone to ground, it'll be perceived as being too aggressive.
Ball came up into the body of the Belgian co-captain, Felix Denayer there, and Tom Carson there, apologising to his bench. Can't believe how unfortunate he was there. Has he got the ball first?
Well, he may well have got the ball, but it was perceived to be dangerous going to ground through Bone's legs.
So England down a player. Here's where Belgium can step up to the plate and get one back around the back now onto the baseline. Surely a chance here for them. Pinner was drawn out after that baseline run from Guignard. In it comes again from Guignard. It's fallen there. Jackson's in the middle of it, and that shot goes wide. Best chance of the second half for Belgium.
Oh, and that's a dreadful miss from Kersters. It's come in down the baseline, it's come across, it bounces out to Kersters. That's goal at his mercy, and he's pulled it past the post.
Yeah, it's Kersters there waiting off for. I think the shot comes in forehand just here before it's cleared away.
Well, that's the first time that Pinner hasn't actually managed to get on the ball. I think he was right, he had to come out to Guignard. If Guignard had got any closer, a quick movement right to left onto a backhand shot would have been impossible to save. Fortunately for him, he had good defenders behind him, picking up the pieces.
England team having to do a lot of legwork here defensively as they're a player down. They've got Dixon, Weir and Fox waiting in the wings to come on with fresh legs. As Hall brings it out now, Catlin was manoeuvred ahead of him. He's got Brogdon just inside him.
Well, and as the game gets tighter, as we go into the later stages, Belgium will press. Belgium will step up and try and attack aggressively, and they'll increase the tempo. England need to resist the temptation to get drawn into that game. They can control this if they play well with the ball. They don't need to get into a running game against Belgium because they're world class at that at the moment, the Belgians.
The message just being relayed there. The slightly elevated position from the Belgian camp, coming back through Mark Lammers. Can't necessarily see the game from the view that we've got here on the TV pictures. There's a chance for England. It was Catlin who was far post, but a little touch away from him from Van Ash.
It was a super overhead ball to Middleton.
Jackson now into the D. 1-2 with Catlin. Final touch came off a Belgian defender, so long corner. 17 minutes left to play. England 1, Belgium 0. Carson the scorer on 47 minutes. Ball up into the body there of Harry Martin. Here's another look at that ball that was brought down by Middleton. Looks far post where Catlin was lurking. He would have got to it had it not been for that right-hand save of Van Ash. Back up the other end, and Pinner forced into action again. It is end-to-end stuff now in this second half, and Belgium almost equalising here.
Well, Pinner is building a wall. This is Guignard getting close. Pinner stays well up for a big man, manages to keep the weight off his heels enough to be able to move his feet.
Lerpart now with the ball into the D. England having to defend their feet, and they've done well. Dixon was there at the heart of the defence. Jackson was back doing his part for the team as well. And Pinner certainly played his game well today for the England side. Super saves coming in from him.
Now, England weren't sure where this ball had gone. All of a sudden, they managed to come away with it.
Whiteman with the restart, into Martin. Good confidence. Advantage played from the umpire.
Montes de Oca quite happy to see England just try and gain an advantage when there is a free hit. There's nothing dangerous about the tackles coming in. They are a foul, but now England have been turned over. Willers.
Yeah, Willers dispossessed, and now Curtis comes away with it. A chance here, looking for the 1-2. Lifted over the final stick of the England defender. I think it was Lewis that was coming in there as the last wall of defence. And England giving up soft possession on the halfway, and they're now on the back foot again. 3 players on the baseline for Belgium. Taken across. Again, Lewis there with the final touch for the long corner.
We've talked about Pinner being a wall, but Lewis' last-ditch tackling for the entire game has been outstanding.
Well, let's have another look at this chance. That was the breakdown from the halfway spot. Belgium counter-attacking at pace, carrying that final tackle. Tell you what, that's Henry Weir there at the back that got in a very important tackle just there. Great work. Wherever you are watching this one, don't go away from your TV screens or your computer screens. First quarter-final is exactly as we thought. A well-contended match between both these European sides. All European affair as well in our second quarter-final, with Germany playing the Netherlands. After that, it's Argentina versus New Zealand. And the final quarter-final of the day, Australia against the hosts India. Brogdon. Who's he got off his shoulder? He's looking to get it through to Gleghorn and Dixon. Jackson will take the free hit just inside the 25, so can't go directly into the D.
I think they need to make sure they don't just overplay this middle channel. That's where Belgium are defending. We heard Lama say he wants to play down the flanks, and Belgium are defending and playing very narrow at the moment.
Mantell looking for the 1-2 into the D, and does he get a foot? No, well defended this time from Van Strydonk as Mantell looked to put that onto a foot.
And now this is where Belgium are dangerous. Small patterns of play. Donea's got 2 players around him. He's got Gunyard on the outside.
And here is Gunyard with Briels ahead of him as well, already in the D. There is Briels. Goes reverse stick. Obviously easier for the England defenders to get that one. Brogdon doesn't want to pick and carry that too far. Well, the foot there, I think there was one in there from Ashley Jackson, but umpire not spotting it. Mantell then down the other end for a long corner this time.
Well, I'm not sure how Van Aert didn't see that, because it certainly looked like Jackson's foot in midfield. And there was players around him. You perceive he gained an advantage from it, even though I think England should have got the earlier free hit anyway.
No one around Mantell here.
Mantell's got absolutely nothing in that bottom corner. Needs some help, England.
Well, Gleghorn was the closest to him. Mantell who missed that chance in the first half. England could easily be 2 up, but then you could say Belgium could have scored from their deflection opportunities as well, had it not been for George Pinner. Both sides toe-to-toe in this first quarter-final. Lovely 1-2 there as Lapark comes through the heart of the midfield. Now Fox has to step, takes it for a long corner.
That's a lovely little elimination from Lapark as he came forward. Quick 1-2 means that he can carry the ball into space. Lewis had to step forward about 20 metres to put any pressure on him at all.
Wait a second.
Gleghorn's fine, that one just looked as it came up into his face. Certainly looked that way. Fokker back through Lapark. Great vision. Jackson goes up for it. Again, just one of those annoying rules, isn't it, really, where it was going to the attacker, but Jackson with a great takeover there, and there, Belgium with a chance up the back foot. Wonderful
what
save.
What a save, Lewis.
Unbelievable from Ian Lewis, who got everything behind that. It wasn't even a half effort, a half little skip there, full onto the blade. Still Belgium come forward. Again, Lewis goes to ground this time. It's not his challenge. It was the first challenge I think the penalty corner's been given for. England hanging on here, and just.
Yeah, they've got the ball. They're carrying it poorly through midfield. Michael Hoare just blocks up Van Orvel, and in doing so gives it away from the obstruction. It's not the clearance from Lewis.
Here's that chance that fell to Lewis just before that. Watch this. Bone, the man that you think would convert from absolutely anywhere, on the spin there, right onto the full blade of Lewis's stick as he came charging out, put his body on the line, kept his side in it. But England still with some defensive work to do here. Belgium's conversion rate, well, not as impressive as England's, 1 from 9. They've got the firepower, though. That's the thing that should be said here. Tom Bone, goal scorer extraordinaire. Not given a chance there. Ball wasn't stopped at the head of the D. And there was a foul off the ball there, I think, on Barry Middleton.
Yeah, Middleton was felled in the circle somewhere, but Belgium anyway hadn't stopped it cleanly, and England had been able to clear with a degree of composure.
Here's another look at that penalty corner. Came out, wasn't stopped by Van Stryd at the head of the D. Couldn't recover from there on in. Dixon, loads of room outside here for Fox. What's the umpire blowing for now? Well, the umpire changing the decision and blowing in favour of Belgium.
Yeah, England having to regroup because it was a great pass out to the right-hand side for Dixon from Dixon on the overlap.
So England have just got to keep pushing out here and putting pressure on Belgium and driving them back into their own half. They're containing them at the moment, but only just.
It is only just, and it's scrambled last-ditch defending from England. Coach Crutchley will be aware of that, but he now needs to make his players aware of the tactics they're playing when they get the ball. What are they trying to do when they get it? Where are they trying to carry it to? Because they stand a better chance of winning this game if they hold on to possession as high up the pitch as they possibly can.
Overlapping run from Doman, cuts in field there, but only as far as Hoare again. Mantell now. And we're just looking for the quick restart there.
Now, I just wondered if Condon was going to be penalised, if umpire Monstocker perceived that to have been a free hit taken, and therefore Guignard was going to pick it up and just charge back down towards the England goal. Fortunately, he decided to give possession back to England. That's an awful pass.
Lewis has his pass intercepted by Bone. Oh dear, he's going to go off with this. Surely it's going to be a corner and we're going to see a card for Ian Lewis. That was an awful challenge. Well, a horrible 20 seconds there for Ian Lewis after giving the ball away here. Tom Bone on the attack, and then it got worse.
Yeah, that's hideous. I mean, that's one of the worst tackles we've seen all game. It's shoulder to shoulder and there's stick contact as well. I mean, Lewis just doesn't get his feet moving.
So England down to 10 men for the next 5 minutes. Ian Lewis in the sin bin. Only 8.5 left to play, so they're going to be on the back foot all the way from this penalty corner onwards. Pinner sets himself in the goal. 4 England defenders alongside him, and Tom Bone at the head of the D. 4 goals in the tournament so far for Bone. Here he comes then. Low flick. No, he's gone high.
Pinner again. Big left hand, George Pinner. Super save.
Obviously a lot easier for the keeper to take at that height. Belgium losing control across the baseline. England can regather, and a chance to look back on this recent effort.
Well, Boone goes high, but he goes fairly central. Pinner's read it to his right and can get a big left hand up to touch it over the crossbar.
Goes down as another good save, though, for George Pinner. Looking for another clean sheet here today. Didn't concede against the host India. Conceded just once against Germany and once against New Zealand. Only 2 goals in the tournament so far that England and England's defence have conceded. 7.5 minutes left to play here in this first quarter-final. Belgium looking to try and find a way back into this game. Carson can't gather the ball. He has scored here this evening, or this afternoon.
And that's the sort of precision that could punish England, or lack of precision that could punish England if they get the ball out of their defensive areas to their midfield. Midfield have just got to keep a stick on it, as Catlin's done, run to areas of the pitch that aren't dangerous if they were to lose possession. Carson there thinking too far ahead of himself. Just needed to get a stick on the ball and calm things down.
Martin with the restart to play in Jackson, who just taps it onto a foot as well. That'll take another 10 or 15 seconds off the clock. Umpire wants the Belgian defence to retire. There's Harry Martin up at the edge of the D. Can Jackson find a way through to him? No. So into Henry Weir, but Belgium pushing forward and encouraging England forward. Jackson. It's a nice ball through to Carson. Foul on Carson there. Well done.
Lloyd Park stick tackle. Carson holding the ball better, carrying it in the back of his stance. As soon as you put the ball back onto your right foot, it's really hard for a defender to step in on a really convincing flat stick. It becomes a late tackle.
Lovely run round the back from Catlin. The ball was taken out before it went up into his body. So it'll be a long corner, which Martin takes. Jackson in support. Catlin leads towards the ball as well. 5 Belgian shirts there to try and break through. It's not going to be easy for Catlin, but he'll just take a bit more time off the clock. Where do Belgium go from here? Well, they force the free hit for starters.
And Belgium leading forward now. Briel's away out to the right of our shot, really leading high, trying to stretch the play, create space for Belgium to create those little triangles. As Doman can carry it, he's got his eyes up and they're able to go left and right. England obviously a man down, difficult to deny any particular space when you're only 10 men.
Certainly is, and they've all backtracked into the defensive half. Martin getting to the ball first there, good leg work from him to cover and wins the free hit as well. England ahead through Tom Carson, scoring on 47 minutes from a penalty corner. Lapark takes that one down for Belgium, now up the line, lost his footing and couldn't find Tom Bone.
Well, and the overhead that Lapark took down was from Michael Hoare, and Michael Hoare's got a massive role to play now, because Lewis had been doing a huge amount of the distribution.
Loose ball here, Carson's onto it as it came off Lapark, but it was De Sadelier, who's also at the back for Belgium, that was in the right place at the right time to gather it for Belgium, and they come forward again. Remember, they're after an equaliser here. 1-1, if it finished that way, we'd go to a penalty shootout. That would be exciting. England would rather it didn't go that far. 4.5 minutes left. Ian Lewis painfully has to watch on for these dying moments after a horrendous tackle on Tom Bone that saw him get sent off. Yellow card, 5 minutes minimum. Martin now, great strength from him, earns the free hit.
It was a super clever pass from Jackson in the first instance. Everything suggested he was going to drive with the ball left to right, looking for the wing space.
Fed the ball in well to Brogdon as Gleghorn sees it, pinched off him. Bone now dips inside Fox, goes into Middleton and earns the free hit. Still 1-0 England.
Well, England are going to have to make a real mix of defence here. They're going to have to play a tight man-to-man because Belgium is stretching it with the forwards. Then they're going to have to zone the midfield because they're not able to close down spaces quickly enough. They're going to have to hold certain channels, play in boxes, deny the centre of the pitch if they can.
England looking to become the first semi-finalists here in New Delhi. They've won a free hit on the edge of their own D. They've got 3.5 minutes left here in New Delhi, and that's Lewis coming back into play. So England back up to full strength, back up to 11, and can get some sort of structure back, send a few more players forward, and that ball comes forward to Catlin, who's on this near touchline. 2 players to beat, fancies it himself, here he comes. He's got baseline open as well. He had Brogdon there on the baseline under his arm.
Well, we've got a goalkeeper substitution coming on. Van Asch stepping off, Thijs bringing a bib on for Leupart. He'll put the bib on, so what we'd expect to see in this instance is Belgium will go to a high front 3. They'll put 2 men in the circle. They'll be looking to feed balls out to the width of midfield and then fire it into that extra free player. England have to decide now how they're going to defend through the midfield to shut the spaces down. They can't play 2 men up front.
Well, almost in an indoor hockey fashion, Lapark taking on the bib and becoming the kicking back as Belgium try and find a way through now. They've got an extra outfielder, but remember, they have no goalkeeper. Brief mention there on the indoors, Bath Bucks going through and promoted into the indoor Premier League. Now the boys back home are watching eagerly. England here looking to defend their lines. Here's a chance then for England to make it 2. They've got 2 players striding forward. Catlin's going forward. Gleghorn's there. That ball from Brogdon couldn't find Gleghorn, who, had he picked it up inside the D, would have had an open goal to shoot into. Again, England taking their time here. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. It's England 1, Belgium 0. A place in the semi-finals up for grabs. Remember, Belgium beating England last time these two sides met at the European semi-finals. Belgium winning that by 3-0, but England up here in New Delhi.
Oh, Barry Middleton bossing it, getting on every free hit. He knows the channels that England need to play in. This will not be a pretty last 2 minutes because Middleton will want to keep as close to that corner flag with the ball as he possibly can. But that has just got a bit of too much power on and chucked it off the end of the pitch.
Bobby Crotchley can hardly watch there. Tense times for the coaching staff and for the players, but the players in the zone. Mark Lammers and his side looking to get back into this game. Belgium coming forward again with all 11 outfield players now in action. There's the route one ball, takes a little deflection, it'll be a long corner. Came up off Middleton again, who is working his socks off in midfield.
Brogdon looking tired in the front line of defence away to the left. He needs to sprint now to get in front of Leupart.
Oh, that one's come up right into the chest. Who's that's gone down?
So Harry Martin, I think, possibly, who's gone down. That's hit him hard.
Yeah, that route one ball from Leupart comes in there. Yeah, painful couple of moments there. And we'll have some time off the clock. There's just over a minute to play, 1 minute and 2 seconds. England lead here in the first quarter-final of day 4 of the Hero Hockey World League final.
Well, Leupart, that man there, he's the guy who lifted it, and it's just that split-second moment, the difference between success and failure, is he's tried to play it in just too hard, too much right hand. If you force the right hand through, the stick rolls in the fingers, the blade opens up, and then you get the lift. Exactly what he's done. Now Lewis has to just be smart, see a space. I wouldn't be surprised to see an overhead to the bottom, the top left of the England attack.
Yeah, they've got Mantell up front, Carson up front as well. There is that aerial ball looking for Carson. Can it find him? Yes, it can. I couldn't quite keep it in. Martin, after that hit, has gone off. He's up on his feet. He's fine, though, and will finish this game on the bench. Carson breaking down the play there. Belgium having to bring it back to that halfway line. Then this is the last chance for them. Trying to get one goal back inside the D. All sorts of chaos going on as England man-for-man mark their players. Belgium having to be patient here in the build-up, waiting for the gap to open up. De Sadalier spreads the ball out wide now. This is Bocard with the ball forward. Gugnard with the ball in, takes a touch, but not goal-bound. It was a tight, fine angle, and it looks as though that's going to be the last attacking effort there for Belgium.
Well, Lewis certainly isn't going to walk this up to 16 particularly quickly, and this is going to go overhead yet again.
There it goes. Carson goes in with the fake, and that'll run the final few seconds off the board as well. There's the hooter for full time, and England have done it. They've held on here against Belgium and booked their place in the semi-finals. England beating Belgium by 1-0. There's the England fans, the Mantell family, the Fox family, watching on here in New Delhi as Bobby Crutchley's side progressed through to the semi-final stages of this tournament. We saw George Pinner there congratulating Simon Mantell and Ali Brogdon. He made some fine saves today and was at his very best to deny Belgium. Mark Lammers and Belgium will go down into the bottom half of the draw now, and the best that they can finish is 5th. England a place in the semi-finals and a game against Argentina or New Zealand. So full time here, England have held on just. It's finished England 1, Belgium 0. Well, what a game. That went right to the wire, and I'm sure a few nervous moments there for the fans back home as well as the players on the pitch.
I couldn't agree more. We said that England would need to score first if they were going to win this game. They haven't attacked massively well consistently, but they've defended valiantly for the whole tournament, and that showed again today. Lewis at the heart of the defence was outstanding, other than that hideous tackle. But Pinner was the man behind it, who set that win up with saves in the very first half, in the first 15-20 minutes.
Middleton there as well, an important save for him off the line from a penalty corner at the end of the first half. And there, the England camp, they can reflect on that performance. They gave 100% in there, pushed it right to the wire, and look at those smiles. Mantell high-fiving the rest of the team. They're through to the semi-finals. What a result for them. Well, they knew they could do it. They had to change their tactics slightly to adapt to what was a very strong Belgium side on the day. Lewis there at the heart of the defence. But Tom Carson with the deciding goal on 47 minutes that separated the two sides, putting England ahead, and then they kept their noses ahead. They're regathered now in front of their dugout. A semi-final place. Big success for the world number 4 side. Bobby Crutchley congratulating his players as the water comes on ahead of our next quarter-final, which is Germany versus Netherlands, another all-European encounter. Be sure to stick with us for that one. So Bobby Crutchley's England have won the all-important quarter-final against Belgium, and here with the match presentation, Dubai Sen.
Joining me for the Hero Man of the Match presentation ceremony this evening is Coco Budeski, who's of course FIH representative and also the president of the Pan American Hockey Federation, and he'll make the presentation of the Hero Man of the Match trophy to today's Man of the Match, also a check for 25,000 rupees to George Pinner of England. George, it's been an outstanding tournament for you. We've been expecting this Man of the Match award to come your way, and it must be good to get it in a big game like this one.
Yeah, it's really nice to play my part. It's been a really hard team performance today, and I think we played really well over the last 3 games. The guys have defended brilliantly, and I haven't had much to do the previous games. It's just nice to play a good part today.
At an individual level, how much of goalkeeping do you think is down to skills and how much is down to rhythm?
I actually think most of it's down to mental. You know, that's a hard-fought game at 1-0. You know you can't make any errors, and yeah, a lot of goalkeeping's mental. You can train all you want on the pitch doing your skills, but it's what's in your head that makes the difference.
You made a mention of the entire team gelling well and playing well right through these 4 games, 4 successive victories. Your thoughts on the semi-finals? Who would you rather face, New Zealand or Argentina?
Bring on whoever, I think. You know, you come to a top 8 tournament like this, it's a cliche, but no easy games. We've won 4 from 4, confidence is high, and we'll take whoever we get.
Well, enjoy your off day and all the best for the semis.
Thank you very much.
George Pinner then picking up man of the match here today, England versus Belgium. We'll see some of the highlights then from this game, and this was the second half. See Pinner at the heart of the defence there, and had to be at his very best, as did the England defence on the day against Belgium. Charlier getting caught up there, but got back to his feet later in the game. That was the decisive goal that came in on 47 minutes to separate the 2 sides. Tom Carson from the head of the D after Ashley Jackson had seen a couple of his run down. Carson put his on target, but then it was all Belgium all the way to the very end. Driving the baseline that time with Guignard. Chance late on here as Middleton brought that one down and looked to find Catlin on the far post, but Nash up the other end doing his duty in goal. Let's wrap things up here then with some match stats. England beating Belgium in the first quarter-final by 1-0. Belgium had 12 to 6 shots in their favour, 23 circle penetrations to 10, and controlled the possession, didn't score from any of their 5 penalty corners. There a look at the rest of the quarter-finals. England having beaten Belgium. It's Germany versus Netherlands next. Argentina versus New Zealand is quarter-final 3, and the final quarter-final of the day, Australia versus India. So England on to the semi-finals. They'll play either Argentina or New Zealand. There's Germany warming up ahead of their quarter-final. But from myself, Michael Absalom and Simon Mason here in the commentary box, thanks very much, and we'll see you shortly. Bye for now.